in December 2011, and we're left with 5 billion. We have just taken that 5 billion. So all that we've gone to the bond market.
Did you get the exact amount, or did you had an oversubscription, or anything?
Both times we had an oversubscription. And don't forget, if there's no confidence in the market, if there's no confidence in Ekiti State, this is 6 months to election. You don't get private sector subscribing to a bond in a state that has election in 6 months if they don't have a reasonable confidence of the performance of that state in terms of its repayment capacity on what it had already borrowed. So,
okay, permit me, Your Excellency, to mention this. If people say to you that you're raising this final tranche of money for the purpose of election, how do you respond to that?
Again, opinion is free. Anyone could come up with anything, particularly if you're my political opponent.
Yes.
You wouldn't have any other thing to say about it. But these are specific. You don't go to the bond market to raise money unless it is for specific projects, which the SEC, the Stock Exchange Commission, monitors, which the NSC monitors, and which those who have subscribed to your bond are not oblivious to, because they want to make sure that they get their returns.
Yeah. So for those who are not aware,
for me,
yes,
there is also the issue of personal integrity. The only thing I brought into politics, what makes me different from a lot of politicians around here, is my name. I'm not about to sell myself short simply on the altar of politics. The reason why I was the only person who declared my assets when I became governor in this state, which you can Google and find, it's precisely because I have an alternative address. I have a second address. Government house is not my address. So I can leave this job. But service is important to me. That is what brought me into politics. It is not personal aggrandizement. It is service to my people. And I've demonstrated that.
So for those who are saying that this money, the last tranche of 5 billion, is meant for election, what exactly are you taking that last tranche for? What are you going to allocate it to or appropriate it to?
Thank you. We are in this last tranche, we have projects that have been contractor financed. Some of them are still ongoing. We have the pavilion. I don't know if you've had the chance to go to our sports pavilion. It's a regenerative project for us because people will come there, rent the space for all manner of things. It's much better than Eagle Square and many of the other facilities of this type that you have around. We are also using it for our bricks factory, which had been moribund for 23 years, and we're bringing it back to use. It's being used for some of our road infrastructure facilities. And we're talking about 5 billion. How much is 5 billion in that terrain or infrastructure? It's not a lot of money. So for politicians who want to take an opportunistic shot at the governor, they should be my guest. I invite them. They can also be part of the monitoring team for this project. Because for me, one thing Ekiti people know is that my word is my bond. Whatever I've said I would do, I have done. And that's why I challenge people. I say, read my inaugural speech. Read my plan, the roadmap to Ekiti Recovery, and check it out one by one. What did I say I would do? What have I done? No politician who is not worth his salt will go back to communities. I've just completed this last October a tour of 131 communities. I go into communities, sit with the people. How far have we gone in our agenda? What do you want in the next budget for your community? Very few politicians can do that.
Okay. That being said, let's talk about the upcoming elections. With all this that you have said, and especially this trip to the communities, I want your opinion regarding your chances at the election. I mean, if my leader comes to visit me, small villager in God knows, got some backwater in Ekiti, and comes to discuss with me, ask my opinion, what I want in the budget and all that, surely that leader has my vote.
And I would like to think Ekiti people are very discerning, just like you. but that's the choice of our people to make. It's a choice for them to make.
What are your chances?
Well, you know, it's a bit of an unfair question. When I answer that, you would say, of course, you would say that. That's what you would say.
I may not say that.
Well, my chances are very good. My chances are very good because I have delivered on what I promised. And if politics is about performance, if it's about accountability to the people,
which it should be,
if it's about transparency, I have delivered. But of course, we also have a segment, a very tiny segment of our population who will tell you,
matter.
Oh, I'm not discounting any segment. A very tiny segment who will tell you, oh yes, he has done it. We know he's done all the roads. He's fixed the schools. The health facilities are great. But what about my stomach infrastructure?
The stomach infrastructure.
He has done physical infrastructure. What about my own stomach infrastructure?
So what are you doing about this?
About the stomach infrastructure.
The truth of the matter is that politics is also about human development.
Yes.
It's not just about physical development. And people know that I'm passionate about human development. It's just that I do not belong to the school of politics that focuses on sharing the money. I share the money in an institutional way. If I'm be paying 5,000 naira to every elderly indigent person at the end of every month, that is sharing the money. But it's sharing the money backed by law. The Social Security Benefit Scheme, in my view, is sharing the money. It's not throwing the money at people at Fajuyi Park. It's not giving 200 naira to Baba Rere Babake or Wameji from Baba. No. But it is sharing the money. But sharing the money in an accountable, defensible, transparent manner. So you can ask me, how much have I spent on security, social security benefit to the elderly? And I give it to you. You can ask me about how our food banks are working across the state. You can ask me about how the soup kitchen, where we feed vulnerable, we have all these things. Kitchens. And this is one state that is really passionate about human development and does it in a very innovative manner. So I can answer those questions, but I do believe that politics should not just be about collecting money and sharing the money. That's the PDP culture of politics. And I'm not going to be apologetic about it.
Excellent. They're not here to defend themselves.
Well, they may not be here to defend themselves, but I also must let you know that this state has moved from that. And we're not going to go back to that past, sordid past.
We hope.
All right, so as we wrap up now, I was going to ask Excellency, in terms of preparation for election in the state, what is the state of things? Do you see non-violent election for 2014 come June?
That is what I have been really urging upon our people.
So what's the governor doing to ensure that
they're really urging
peace?
People? Yes. I'm going into communities to preach peace, and people know that even though I have a doctorate in war, I'm a very peaceful person, and that's how I've conducted myself in all my years in politics in this state. Even when I was provoked, even when I was attacked, even as an opposition underdog, I ensured and maintained that I want to be governor over living people, not dead people. And that's still the point I'm making. I'm urging politicians to focus on their agenda, sell their agenda to Ekiti people. Come and tell the people what you can do better than Fayemi. What is it that Fayemi has not done that you are able to do and that would make the lives of our people better? If they believe you, good luck to you. You will be the governor. I'll go and find another thing to do with myself. But don't preach violence. Don't threaten brigandage. Don't threaten federal powers, because we hear a lot of saber rattling going on. Oh, we're going to bring Abuja to Ekiti. We're going to ensure that we kick you out and do all those things. I have a message for such people. They should go back into the history of Ekiti people, right? Way back to the Awolowo days. We were more Awolowo than Ijebu people here. We're passionate about governance. We're passionate about our votes. And we always resist imposition and fraud. Way back to our history, the Ekiti Parappa Wars, you will find how we resisted the Ibadans. We did the same in the 60s, in the Wild Wild West. You remember the Omoboriwo saga. It's also in this area. Even my own experience, the Regan roast experience in the recent past. So my plea with people is that they just let peace reign. They let one man, one vote determine what happens in the state. And I also want to advise the federal government not to in any way use any subterranean moves to undermine the peace of Ekiti. Tension will rise when politics comes. For 3 years, 3 months that I've been in office, Ekiti has been mostly peaceful. Okay. It's not the Ekiti of 1 week, 1 trouble that you used to read about.
Okay. Thank you very much. Governor of Ekiti State, Dr. John Kayode Fayemi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alera, for having me.
We've had a wonderful time chatting with you this morning.
And thank you for coming to Ekiti. I hope you enjoy the ambience of our rolling hills and our pounded yam before you leave here.
Before you leave,
pounded yam will always be there.